I'm Lieutenant General Carl Steiner, the commander of the 18th Airborne Corps at Fort Bragg. I want to thank World Championship Wrestling for affording us the opportunity to join other Americans and other soldiers across this land in saluting our flag. 214 years ago, the Army was locked in a mortal struggle in trying to help establish our nation. Today, the Army stands ready to defend the greatest nation upon the face of this earth.
From Fort Bragg, North Carolina, and under the steady gaze of Iron Mike, the symbol of the United States Army worldwide, World Championship Wrestling presents tonight a top 10 showdown featuring number 10 contender Terry Funk versus the number 1 contender Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Plus, who will become the newest Freebird when the semifinals of the World Tag Team Title Tournament continues tonight on the Clash of Champions VII, Guts and Glory. Now let's go to Jim Ross and Bob Caudle.
Hello again, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the jam-packed arena here in Fort Bragg, North Carolina, the home of the 82nd Airborne Division. And we have got 3 great hours live coming right at you here tonight, Bob. It's a great tag team tournament.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Clash of the ChampBones. I am your host, Keithie Langston, and today we're going to be reviewing Clash of the Champions VII, Guts and Glory. And I want to welcome back a returning champion to this show. You remember him, I believe, from, I want to say it was like Clash 3, I think. And that is the man who is the voice of the Backbone Wrestling Network, the man who does the plugs, the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Scott Shifflett. How are you, Shiffy?
Keithie, I'm glad to be back. You know, last time I was here, the Horsemen were beating the shit out of Lex Luger in Miami. A lot has changed since then. The Horsemen's not really a thing anymore. But I'm glad to be back. When this releases monthly, I always listen to it because I'm always giving you shit about it.
Thanks, buddy. Thanks.
Yeah. But, this is 1989 WCW is a lot of fun for me personally, especially what you got coming up. So, this is it's just been great the whole year. Like, you and Logan had the Steamboat match with Flair in New Orleans. So, I can never remember the name of these fucking clashes. But, yeah, it was...
Clash 6 was Raging Cajun.
Raging Cajun. I was going to say, Shrimp Boat or something. I don't know. Yeah. But...
Shrimp Boat Captain.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But at least it wasn't called a hurricane or something. That's just me being me.
It would have been funny if it was.
That would be like the new class that's just called Hurricane Katrina. I'm sorry, Jake.
So I'm trying. So actually, you were here at Clash 2. If you're talking about it, was back in Miami. So yeah. So you bet. So it's oddly enough, it's right around a year afterwards because Clash 2 took place on June 8th, 1988, and this takes place
because they had the signing. They had the signing for Luger and Flair on the boat.
Correct. So and this takes place on June 14th, which is Flag Day. So it's nice to see that is there a June Clash in 1990? I'm going to have to pull you back in for that one. But God only knows. Oh my God, Clash 11 Coastal Crush is June 13th in Charleston, South Carolina. So I'm gonna have to book the Clash 11. You're gonna have to do that with me. We'll have to do every June Clash. Will be you. That'll be funny once we get into 95. I'm sure that Clash is a bunch of June of 95. I'm sure that Clash was a bunch of dog shit. So yeah,
I'm sure it was.
Yeah, but this is
I'll be there.
This is thank you, sir. This is kind of a fun Clash for a couple of reasons. Number one, it takes place. It's on Flag Day, and it takes place at Fort Bragg, North Carolina, at the It's called the Ritz Epps Fitness Center now, but I think really just then it was the Army barracks or the arena. Like Jim Ross says, we're jammed into the arena. So I think it was just called the Fort Bragg Arena back then. But of course, it's Fort Bragg is the home of the Army's 18th Airborne Corps. And we are actually welcomed to this show by Lieutenant General Carl Steiner, no relation to Rick or Scott, who is the, I guess, the head of the 18th Airborne Corps. So he gives us a nice birthday greeting because it is the 214th birthday for the U.S. Army. So did you know that it was the 214th birthday?
No, but the way they fucking talked about it the whole night, it was banged in my head and very jingoistic, rah patriotism, and I was like, I'm good with all that. But yeah, it was they always had like these weird bumpers. I know you'll probably get to this, like,
yes,
coming in commercial and coming out of, where it was like, I just want to say I love my parents and everyone back in Houston. And it was like people scared to be on TV. And then one was like, didn't even say anything about his parents or anything. It was like, Ric Flair's the best of all time. And I was like, found the guy I would have been friends with. So it's just like, damn, all right.
There was,
yeah, they were.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry. I don't want to interrupt you. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, like, they were like just like so over the top of it. But also, I don't know if you noticed, but it looked hotter than shit in there. Everyone is sweating. Multiple people in the crowd have their shirts off, which I'm from a redneck county in Virginia, so I'm like used to like people walking around like with shirts off in like public places, but like,
yeah,
they look like it was a fucking NASCAR race or something.
It's, you know, it's really funny because Bob, Jesus, Bob. I'm talking about Bob Heck of Bob Heck Entertainment. No, Pete Winston and I, Peter Winston and I actually recorded this episode for an episode of GFA. And that's one of the things that Pete had mentioned several times during that podcast, is that it does look like it is extremely hot. I mean, I know that like South Carolina in August is unbearable. I would probably imagine that North Carolina in June is just as unbearable. You know, I don't know. But yeah, I would imagine that this was the hottest building in America at that point. But the reason why it's the hottest building in America is because we have the new Freebirds. And I mean, they're just fucking all over this show, are they not? You know, this is kind of like a coming out party for Jimmy Jam Garvin, I feel like. But you know, we'll get into that in a little bit, you know.
Yeah, we'll get into that because I have some thoughts, which we'll go to. It'll probably blow your mind. But yeah, it was so damn hot, Keithie. Like, I know we'll talk, like, we may talk about this at the very end. They played some Army song, and you could see like the fucking beads of sweat just rolling down like these people's faces. They're in like full military regalia, like playing their trumpets and shit, and like just sweat. Like,
well, we do kick things off with the national anthem. Jim Ross and Bob Caudle are here they're on the call, and they're, again, no host for this episode of Clash, which I don't believe we had a host for the last episode either. So they're kind of doing away with that. Of course, Tony Schiavone's not here. He's on the other side of the world at this time. And I don't know if, I don't know if Bischoff hadn't made it yet. I don't think to NWA, it's not Crockett anymore, but NWA. I don't think he made it there yet. So yeah, no host, but we got Jim Ross and Bob Caudle. We get the national anthem from, I believe it's the 18th Airborne Corps band, I'm guessing. So we hear that, which is very nice. And as you were saying, everybody's in their class, maybe not class A uniforms, or class B uniforms. And they had all the flags, and they had all the ribbons on the flags and everything. Very nice to have that display, which was, I guess, kind of cool, and that they showed it. Yeah, this is an uber patriotic show. And which, I mean, I guess it makes sense. It's Flag Day. It's a birthday of the Army. They're on an Army air base. They're doing all this stuff. We see a video of Rick Steiner, Scott Steiner, Missy Hyatt, and Ranger Ross participating in the ROTC ropes course. There's even a scene of Ranger Ross and Missy Hyatt doing the slide for life zip line. And then walking back, you see both of them soaking wet, and Missy Hyatt kind of going like, "Oh my God, my hair's all wet. I'm all wet." So, that was kind of
she actually says, like, "Oh my God, I didn't even break a nail." Like,
yeah,
I don't think she realized she was on camera for that.
Didn't even break a nail, and Ranger Ross jizzed in my hair. So yeah, it was a good old time, but it was kind of cool to see. I kind of wish they had done more of like showing the superstars like interacting with like the military personnel on the base, kind of like how when like WWE goes to like Australia and they show videos of them like out on the playing with the koalas and I don't know. I think I saw Sheamus one time boxing a kangaroo. I'm pretty sure. So it's fun when you see them interacting with the reason why they're there. I mean, there was a specific reason why they went to Fort Bragg. So let it kind of go, let it shine a little bit. Let the guys shine. Let the superstars shine,
Yeah, I liked it. And it wasn't even like the main stars. Like we did see the Steiner brothers doing like the rock wall, which I'm sure Rick and Scott could have just ran through the fucking rock wall. But I don't know if you noticed, but Rick and Scott were both wearing at different times tonight the Detroit Pistons bad boy t-shirts. It was right around the time when the NBA playoffs were going on, and the Bad Boys, I think they won in '89.
Okay.
So yeah, makes sense.
Did the Pistons win the NBA championship in 1989? I would imagine that.
Yeah, they did.
Nice. Oh, that's good. Well, they
go.
Did. Well, that makes sense.
They swept the Lakers.
They're both Michigan boys, so you'd want to support. You got to support the team. But so the big overlying story. There's really two big stories going into this clash. The first of all, the main event, which is and they kept talking about this being like a top 10 match, and it's really funny because earlier on, I think earlier today, was it you bringing it up in one of our various group chats about the top 10 back in the day?
Yes, it was me because like that's what this main event was basically all over. Was Terry Funk was 10, Steamboat was 1, and for Funk to rise up and face Ric Flair, he has to defeat these wrestlers, and I think that's good because like it doesn't need an elaborate storyline. No. It's just like, I want your spot, I can beat you to take it, and I'll rise up the ranks. That's all it is. It's very simple. It's like holy shit. It doesn't need to be intricate or anything. I know TNA in the 2010s, 2011 did it, but like half of it was like winning and the other half was like fan vote, and that's how Desmond Wolfe got a title shot, who's Nigel McGuinness, because like I guess they were like bot farms even back then voting for Desmond Wolfe. So or people also wanted him because he did come in pretty hot to TNA. He took out Angle. But this isn't a TNA podcast. That's every other Thursday. Highway the Impact Zone. Clash of the ChampBones here.
That's right. Clash of the ChampBones. So the other big surrounding story on this is the World Tag Team Championship tournament. I guess we get the semifinals and then the finals. We only have 2 matches on here. Oddly enough, though, I don't really remember like did it. I don't really remember. I forget now. I forget what happened with the NWA Tag Team Championship. Do you remember what happened and why we have a vacancy?
I'm double checking right now just because I don't want to speak out of turn.
Well, actually, I do know. It has to do with, it was the Varsity Club, and the Varsity Club, so it was Mike Rotunda and Steve Williams, and they actually were forced to relinquish the championship when members Kevin Sullivan and Dan Spivey attacked special referee Nikita Koloff during the Wrestle War 89 title defense against the Road Warriors. So that's why it's now vacant. Wow. So we get in this, we have four matches, or we have 4 teams participating in this. We get the Freebirds, we have the Midnight Express, and then we have
they said it was a 16-team tournament, and we just had a Final Four tonight. So I don't know who else was in it. They never showed brackets.
No, they didn't show brackets. I did not watch the TVs leading up to this, so I don't know who else was in that. I feel like I should have, but I didn't, so I'm sorry. But we had the Freebirds, the Dynamic Dudes, the Midnights, and the Samoan SWAT team. So we had 4 three decent teams and one team of Shane Douglas and Johnny Ace going in this, but we'll see where we end up at the end. So those are kind of the two big storylines going into this. One thing I find interesting is that the last few clashes I know were really just used as like programs to build up the upcoming pay-per-view. And even though this is a build towards the Great American Bash is like a month away. So one of the things I liked about this is that it doesn't feel like it's just a 2-hour, 3-hour commercial for the upcoming pay-per-view. And there's really, there's really only like one kind of storyline that gets built that ends up showing up on that pay-per-view. And so that's going to be kind of interesting to see where we go from here. So we'll get into this. But we'll start off. We're going to get into that. So we'll start off this with the first matchup, which is the Dynamic Dudes going up against the Fabulous Freebirds. And the big thing was like there was a big mystery as to who the new Freebird was going to be. I mean, to my knowledge, and it is Jimmy Garvin. And to my knowledge, Jimmy Garvin had already kind of been like a tertiary member of the Freebirds anyway. And so it was kind of, I guess this was he was official now. He doesn't have, there's no Precious. There's just Jimmy Garvin. And instead of Precious at ringside, we get Terry Gordy. So they come down with the and to face off against the Dynamic Dudes, as I said, is Johnny Ace and Shane Douglas. Man, Shane Douglas is like, no pun intended. He's babyface here. Like he is a baby looking guy. He looks young right now, right? I mean, Johnny Ace we knew from hanging out with the sheep herders, but my God, Shane Douglas looks really young here, doesn't he?
Yeah, he really does. And what shocks me is he's straight up babyface. But did you notice that the chronons for WCW is messed up the whole night?
Yeah.
Like for the intros,
I don't know if that
when
was
they say oh, Dynamic Dudes are coming down.
Yeah, I don't know if that was I don't know if that's because of the licensing or something like that. I feel like it's because did you watch this on YouTube? Did you watch it on YouTube? Or did you watch it on the network?
No, I watched it on Peacock.
Yeah, so see, I think
Peacock, the network. Yeah.
So the YouTube WCW channel has been actually posting these, which is nice, and so they're free for the most part. They're all, I think they're all. I don't think Clash 2 is on there, but I think like all the other classes so far are on there. So you can go back and watch these on YouTube, but like it's the same feed from Peacock. So I think maybe there's like a licensing issue or something that happened, because we do get like the generic music and stuff like that. So we don't get like, we don't get Bad Street or anything like that. We just get like generic music. But yeah, no, there's definitely some things that are off from the original viewing. I know when we did Clash 6, I actually ended up watching a version that had 3 of the matches that were all missing off of the Peacock and the YouTube version. So I was able to check those out because I ended up getting I ended up going on like Reddit, and I found some guy that had posted that somebody had posted the Peacock version's missing 3 matches. And then somebody was like, here, and he had it like on a Google Drive. So I ended up downloading it and watching it, which was nice. But yeah, so this is our first matchup. So the bell rings and the Freebirds immediately start double teaming the Dynamic Dudes. But Johnny Ace and Shane Douglas fire back with double suplexes, a sunset flip clothesline that sends the Freebirds running to the outside. It's pretty fast paced. Crowd's pretty much into it. We then have Michael Hayes coming in. He starts off with Johnny Ace, delivering a series of knees, clubbing forearms, and an Irish whip, only for Ace to counter with an arm drag and a tag to Shane Douglas. The Dynamic Dudes hit double elbow drops, shoulder blocks, and more double team maneuvers. And the Freebirds' experience and teamwork shine through, though. Hayes kind of delivers a DDT. Jimmy Garvin falls over to scoop slam. And then after multiple attacks on Johnny Ace outside the rings, the Freebirds pick up the pinfall victory. Total match was 7 minutes and 14 seconds. Not a bad matchup. I mean, it had its moments. It was kind of like
Oh,
go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I like the ending. Also, I didn't mention this, but the Freebirds for me growing up was always Michael P.S. Hayes and Jimmy Garvin, and like those other like Big Daddy Dink and all those people. I didn't realize until I got older and got into wrestling more that it was like Buddy Roberts and Terry Gordy. So I was like, oh, Jimmy Jam's always here. But I like the ending a lot where Shane had Jimmy rolled up, but it was like the one where he's like, where Shane's ass is in Jimmy's face and like his like he has him rolled up like that. And Michael P.S. Hayes then came and gave him a DDT. And I was like, that's a fucking sick ending right there.
I think in my notes I had written down like, because I didn't know what to call it, because it was like it was like I almost called it like a boyhood pin, although it wasn't a total boyhood pin, but yeah, it was that move where like he runs in the ropes, he kind of does like the reverse sunset flip almost, and then so Michael Hayes comes in, he drops him with the DDT because obviously the referee, who I'm pretty sure was probably
useless Tommy Young.
It's always Tommy Young. Tommy Young was being distracted by Johnny Ace. And so, that's how, but the DDT Hayes hits look sick, though. It was pretty sick, you know? And
I like that a lot.
I mean, a good opening. I don't know. How many did you give it a star rating? I don't know. Did you give it a star rating? I don't want to,
I did not give any Elite star ratings.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's all right. I would say if I gave it a star rating, I think I went like 2.5. I thought it was pretty good. It's not, the Freebirds are pretty, by this point, I feel like the Freebirds are pretty basic, like they're your heel team. It's so weird. It's so funny going through these clashes, like only the clashes, because you see like such a change from like heels to face. Like when just a couple of clashes ago, but like just a couple of clashes ago on Clash 5 in February, Michael Hayes is a baby face. he's palling around with freaking Junkyard Dog and Sting, and it's like, and then we go from that to Clash 6, which is in April, where he's a heel, but it's just so bizarre that he's a heel, and then we go to this one and they're reforming the friggin' Freebirds again, and they're a heel tag team. So it's so weird to see how quickly they all like kind of turn around,
Yeah, but I mean, it's even quicker now, like as someone who's going through 2000 WCW. But yeah, it's just like pretty crazy. Like Michael P.S. Hayes, he was US champ a couple months ago. And now he's like the tag champ again. So he's had like a sneaky good 1989.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? I just saw this here where it says that the Freebirds beat the Road Warriors in the first round, while the Dynamic Dudes beat Jack Victory and Rip Morgan. And then it says that and then the Midnight Express had beaten Bob Orton Jr. and Butch Reed in the first round, while the Samoan SWAT team beat Ranger Ross and Ron Simmons. Wow, so they really had like 4 established tag teams going up against 3 put together tag teams and 1 real tag team for this tag team title tournament, which is crazy. So I guess
maybe they should have just did all 4. Maybe they should have just did all 4, Keithie.
I mean, you know what? I guess like you got to have the Road Warriors in the tournament, which is probably what they were looking for, and they didn't want to have the Varsity Club because, the Varsity Club is all kind of fits of broken up at this point. But I guess you can't not have the Road Warriors in a tag team title tournament. So they had to put like 3 other put together tag teams, which is so weird. They got Butch Reed and Ron Simmons. And I know Ron Simmons isn't a heel yet, but that's just really funny that they're in other teams. And then like within this year, they're going to be teamed up together. So that's kind of funny.
Couple months.
Yeah. So, you know what, you were talking earlier about the bumpers that they had where they kept like, they kept inserting like people coming back from commercial break who were given like shout outs. I don't know how many of them I'm going to cut into this. I'd like to put them into this just because it's, give a shout out to our troops, got to support the troops. And, but I mean, I may put them in there, but we get a lot of these, basically every commercial break that we came back from, we had it, but we move on to the next matchup of the evening. And this one is a hell of a doozy. It's the Terrorist who's just Jack Victory under a mask. The Terrorist, and he's already in the ring, and man, is he getting fucking heat. Oh my God. I was like, if this had been taped 10 years earlier, he definitely would have gotten shot, right? Like there would have absolutely been a gun that would have gone off.
I am shocked they did this. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, and he's dressed very stereotypical for the time. Like, I'm sure he was a villain in a Schwarzenegger movie or Jean-Claude Van Damme movie, but like, holy shit, he had a black mask, ski mask on with like camo fatigues. But
you know who they remind? Do you know who it reminded me of? Do you remember when Muhammad Hassan had those people attack the Undertaker and SmackDown?
Well, yeah, because then they literally killed all fucking. Yeah, the last time.
Yeah, the last time Muhammad Hassan was on television. Yeah, that's who it reminded me of. I mean, it was just a very generic, bad guy or whatever, but that was who it was. So it's Jack Victor End of the Mask, and he's facing off against Ranger Ross, who comes out to all the fanfare that you should. He comes out surrounded by U.S. Army soldiers. He's got the American flag. He's got his jacket on. And he gets probably the biggest pop that Ranger Ross has ever had in his career. And it was kind of nice that he came in, and you could tell Jim Ross calls him a true blue American all the way. And really, in all honesty, this match is like, it's over before it even starts. I mean, it's only 1 minute and 25 seconds long. Basically, the terrorist jumps him from behind. He hits a big back elbow, and Ranger Ross is on the ground. The terrorist starts to choke him with his jacket. And as he's dressed in camouflage, which is kind of like he takes his jacket off, he starts choking Ranger Ross, and then Ranger Ross kind of gets up. He hits like a big headbutt or like a flying headbutt after like an Irish whip. Then he hits a big quick drop kick, a big scoop slam. He drops a big elbow and we got a kick out of 2. And then the Ranger Ross then whips the terrorist into the ropes. He hits a big flying clothesline. He gives him an Irish whip once again, and then he hits him with a low blow into the midsection, another big Irish whip, drops underneath, and he kicks him with a big super kick. So that was kind of it, and that's 1, 2, 3. So Ranger Ross kicks him in the face, and after 1 minute and 25 seconds, that's it. Ranger Ross does his thing and walks out. Thoughts?
They called that a super kick. Jim Ross called it a combat kick. It did look like it didn't even hit Jack Victory. It was the worst kick I've ever fucking seen. Like, get Ranger Ross off my screen. This guy can't wrestle. Like, holy shit, that was bad.
It was.
That was really bad.
You knew it was going to be a squash. I kind of get aggravated at, like, it's the first couple of clashes, they didn't have any squashes really. Or if they had a squash, they didn't have squashes. End of it. I'm not even going to say they did. But it's like, the closest we got was that Road Warriors and Powers of Pain match that was only like 3 minutes long, but that was because there was just a whole bunch of fuckery going on. But like the last couple of clashes, they've had fucking like job matches, and I'm like, why are they having enhancement matches? Like, what are we doing here? And I know that they're trying to like introduce people or something, or like showcase a person for a specific reason, but we don't need this. We didn't need this match. We don't need the upcoming match. We don't need 2 other matches on here, or at least 1 other match after this. 2 other matches on the show that could have been done without, and it wouldn't have been a 3-hour show. It would have been a 2-hour show, and it would have been a tight 2. But yeah, I guess this is good. Ranger Ross, for all intents and purposes, I guess we were supposed to. I guess he would have been the big star. He was a former Army Ranger, so I guess this was kind of a big deal probably for him. It would have been nice if that was his actual, like, he was from the 18th Airborne, but he wasn't. He was a Ranger. So, I guess this was pretty good, though. So I'm not going to fault the guy. They were, you know what, for all we know, he was the reason why they ended up having this connection. And so I'm not going to shit on the guy. I mean, he doesn't last very, very long in WCW. So, he's out by like 91, and I'm not going to, fault the guy for that. But, anyway, so we only had, and it was not offensive. I didn't really even think having it be the terrorist was that offensive. It's just, for 1989, it's not as bad. It's totally different now in, 2025 light, but it wasn't that bad. What's really bad is the next match. And this is the one I think that whenever you talk about, well, before that, I should say, we get a recap. We have a couple sizzle reels, I feel like. I called them sizzle reels in this show. This one's not as much of a sizzle reel, but it's a recap video of the Road Warriors. And they show like some
It's pretty
highlights.
awesome.
It is pretty awesome. I will. For a team that I don't really like, it was pretty cool. But they have some highlights against the Samoan SWAT team, the varsity club. And I feel like it was kind of like and I don't know if this was overdubbed or not, but it almost sounded like it was kind of like a remix version of Iron Man. Did you
Iron Man?
notice
Yeah, you definitely heard Iron Man. So it's like you didn't edit it out all the way.
No, and I feel like it was almost like a remix version though, which I don't know if that was the network's edit or if that's actually what played at the original show, but it kind of was like a cool little music. I thought it was kind of a cool little overture, you know? So I hope that was what really played. If not, maybe it was just the regular Iron Man, but if not, kudos to the network for putting on a pretty good overdub. It's not as bad as like the Rick Rude music, you know, but yeah, I mean, I guess what this video really is just telling everybody how awesome the Road Warriors are and that they're missed and that, you know, we're just waiting for them to come back, you know. But it was a pretty cool hype video.
I agree.
And then that leads into, and as I was saying, I think if you talk to most people about this show, I think most people will mention, like you said earlier, how hot it looked. And then everybody else says, "Oh, isn't that the fucking show that Ding Dongs are on?"
Well, we got something before that too. We got the Dragon Shy demonstration with Great Muta and Gary Hart.
That's right. I forgot. I had that on my notes. That's right. Well, yeah, yes, I'm so sorry. You're right, because something fucking awesome happens in this.
Yeah. So like Gary Hart saying some real racist shit. But before he said the racist shit, he said he wants that this two jobbers here is a competition. They want real competition. One of these is not like the other Keithie of Steamboat, Sting, and Eddie Gilbert. I know he was feuding with Eddie Gilbert at the time. Yeah. Gary says in the Orient, women know their place, and in America, we hide behind our women. And then Gilbert comes in and tries to throw a fireball at Muta, but he can't even do that, and he hits Trent Knight. Then JR, Muta runs away, and JR says Muta is afraid of fire, and that's why he wears the paint. So nice little backstory. I guess that means Sting and Ultimate Warrior are afraid of fire as well. That's why they wear their paint, according to Jim Ross.
Yeah,
but just a cool segment. But I did love Eddie Gilbert in shorts and cowboy boots. Mm-hmm. Then he takes off his pastel green shirt to put on the guy's face he just fucking supposedly burned off.
So that was what I was saying was fucking awesome, was Eddie Gilbert burning the fucking jobber. That's what I wrote. You're right. So I'm actually I am going to put in the clip right here. And that's Gary Hart and his offensive language, as you said, which is nice. And then and then when Muta's in the ring, you see Eddie Gilbert coming from behind, and he just fucking sets the fucking jobber on fire. I was like, nice. I was like, fucking Eddie Gilbert. I love that guy. I love Eddie Gilbert so much. Goddamn, pal. I wish he had been able to have the career he deserved, you know?
I agree 1,000%. I've listened to podcasts about him. He seemed very interesting, had a great mind for the business, and just was his own worst enemy, sadly.
Yeah, I mean, he could have been up there. I mean, he definitely could have been up there with guys revered as guys like Jake for the mind of the business, you know. But like Jake, he had demons that he just couldn't get rid of, and you know, probably didn't help that his wife was Missy Hyatt. I'm sure for whatever it's worth, but. Yeah, I kind of dump on Missy, I feel but I kind of find her useless, and to be honest, one of the worst valets I feel in the history of wrestling. I don't know. I never really liked Missy Hyatt. I was always much more of I was more of a Sherry girl, and then also even Medusa when Medusa came in. I like Medusa. I know that you guys, when you reviewed 7 Months of Danger, I'm sure a lot of shit was said about my girl, but I liked Medusa. I don't know. That's me.
She was okay in 92 WCW. Logan hated her. I don't like her in 2000 WCW.
when she comes back after, well, all right, so she comes back after the Alundra Blaze, and does she come back for a little bit and then leave and then come back?
She comes back. She comes back, and then in '97 she loses. I want to say at Slamboree, a career match versus, I want to say, Hikaru Okuto.
Yeah,
I think I said that correctly.
And then
then she's gone, and then she comes back with Team Madness in '99.
Yes,
and then I got to deal with that.
And then that's when she feuds with. Yeah, and then that's when she feuds with like Evan Courageous and Oklahoma and shit.
Oklahoma.
Yeah. I don't like that. And let's just say she has the massive boob job.
It's like that's what everyone was doing then. But damn.
But goddamn, pal. Yeah. We also have a clip. They also have a cut in a clip of Congressman Charlie Rose, who was he was North Carolina's 7th congressional district congressman from 1973 to 1997. So he came in to say hello and wish us a happy Flag Day. I looked him up, and I don't really know I think the most notable thing about him is in 1991, he chaired the House Committee investigation of the George H.W. Bush administration's role in selling military supplies to Iraq. So that's the most interesting thing I think I found about him. He really didn't seem
the best.
He didn't really seem to do a lot, but North Carolina's 7th district, which does have in it Wilmington to Fayetteville. So that's the area if anybody's interested. But yeah, I don't even know.
If you loved One Tree Hill and you loved Dawson's Creek, they were both shot in Wilmington, North Carolina. There you go.
How about
it's also a beautiful place. I've visited there before.
How about it? Cool. So that now moves on to this next matchup, which is Cougar J and George South against the new tag team of the Ding Dongs. Ding Dong 1 and Ding Dong 2. The Ding Dongs were actually a team of Greg Evans and Richard Sartain, who were otherwise known as the Rock and Roll Rebels. The notable thing about the Ding Dongs is, and I really don't want to go over this match because it's fucking stupid and pointless. The things I will note, however, and I mean, and the sad thing is it lasts 3 minutes, which is 2 minutes and 59 seconds too long, in my opinion. But the notable thing about this is that they put the bell on the corner post, and I guess the gimmick of the Ding Dongs is just whenever they felt like they did something good, the other one rang the bell. I guess I thought originally it was like for when they wanted to make a tag, but you see one of the fucking dongs, the dongers ringing the bell like the whole fucking time, and it's like, okay. And then the other thing of note was they had on their wrists and ankles looked like just a bunch of jingle bells, and if you noticed. Every time something happened, fucking jingle balls were falling off of the wrists and their ankles. So the whole, there's a whole bunch of them on the mat by the end of this match. Just what a fucking shitty outfit, shitty gimmick, shitty everything. They win with this shitty move of flying knee drop and flying elbow. The fuck? It was stupid.
Yeah, this is my only time. I mean, I'd heard about them, but obviously this is my first time seeing them. My notes are George South and Cooper J versus the Ding Dongs. My God, the bells keep fucking ringing. This is an all-time bad idea. Horrible fucking match. That's how
horrible.
I just moved on from it.
Yeah. This match and then the last match, 2 fucking duds. Dud, in my opinion. But it was terrible. It was awful. But I guess, I don't know. I guess that is what it is because it sets up the next matchup, which is the Midnight Express against the Samoan SWAT team. And this is the next match in the tournament. When I first watched this, before the match even started, I went, this is going to be the match of the night because I love the Samoan SWAT team of Samu and Fatu, and I think I have well established on the Clash of the ChampBones that I am the biggest fucking mark for the Midnight Express there is. the Midnights, and then the Fantastics, who sadly are not on this show. But like, I am like the biggest fucking mark for those two teams. It's insane. I went bananas at that friggin' match at Clash 4, which is Wyndham and Flair against the Midnights. I went bananas. I'm like, I am such the biggest mark for the friggin' Midnight Express. So yes, and on top of that, their match at Raging Cajun was fucking awesome. So I was like, this is going to be great. And I knew it wasn't going to be, that match at Raging Cajun was 20 minutes. I knew this wasn't going to be 20 minutes. I knew it wasn't going to be that long because, of course, they had other matches. You know, they're only the fourth match on the night. But overall, I knew it was going to be a banger. It still makes me laugh whenever I see Jim Cornette come out and get like the babyface pop, and just seeing him as like a babyface is just really fucking funny to me. Because I'm like, it's fucking Jim Cornette. And of course, Samu and Fatu are managed by the Wise Man, the original Wise Man, Paulie Dangerously. So that's kind of cool, you know, seeing him once again down there talking.
It's where the bloodline really started.
That's what, and you know, I said that at the last show because I was like, this must have been where the bloodline started, because he's linked with Fatu right here. So, you know, that's kind of good. Also, what a fucking outfit choice by Paul E. Like, he's in his best Don Johnson outfit. Like, he looks as slick as shit, doesn't he?
It's funny you mentioned that. My note literally says Paul E looking like an extra from Miami Vice.
Yes, fucking Crockett and Tubbs, baby. Yeah, no, he was. Yeah, Sonny Crockett, he looked like. It was fantastic. So, but we do start off with Stan Lane and Fatu, and I apologize if my notes. I get Fatu and Samu confused. I think it's also because like the video footage is not as high def as it would be. So, you know, you start to kind of mix the two of them all together. But the matchup starts with double team action with both teams fighting each other. The Midnights do toss Fatu out to the ring. So we start off when he comes back in as Stan Lane and Fatu. We get an Irish whip drop tag to Bobby Eaton. Bobby Eaton drops a big elbow on the back of Samu now. Quick tag to Bobby Eaton. Stan Lane. I even have this in my notes. I'm like, Bobby Eaton or Stan Lane rather, from Bobby Eaton. We get another Irish whip, another quick tag. So we've had like 3 quick tags right in a row. Big double back elbow to Fatu by the Midnights. Samu then comes in, tries to break up the double team action, but Bobby Eaton is still in control. He hits a big swinging reverse neck breaker for 2. He's controlling Fatu now on the ring. Bobby Eaton then lifts Fatu, drapes his neck across the top rope, almost like a stun gun. And while he's up, Stan Lane runs the ropes, jumps over, like leaps over Bobby Eaton and lands on Fatu, which I thought was kind of cool. Samu comes in, hits a big super kick to Bobby Eaton, which kind of slows things down a little bit. We start getting a little double teaming from both of the Samoans, and they kind of just pick up Bobby Eaton and just start dropping him on the mat, just like kind of knocking him around. The match starts to slow down, and so the Samoans can take advantage. It kind of looked like at one point, I think it was Fatu did like almost it looked like a Samoan spike, but it wasn't. It was just like a chop, and he drops Bobby Eaton. Eaton kind of spills onto the outside, and this is where he starts getting beaten up by Fatu. And Fatu hits a big suplex on the ringside mat. Stan Lane comes over to check on his tag team partner as the Samoan SWAT team kind of celebrates in the ring and like gets the crowd going. Bobby Eaton's slow to get back in. We get this shot of Bobby, and then we have a shot of James Cornette, or Paulie Dangerously on his cell phone, rather. I'm sorry, I have James and Cornette, but it's Paulie Dangerously on his cell phone. It's just funny seeing Paulie on the phone, and I always want to go, who's he calling? Who's he calling? Who's he talking to? Is he talking to Roman Reigns?
Zach Morris. That's who he's talking to. He's talking to Zach Morris.
Okay, Zach Morris of Saved by the Bell fame. The big thing that kind of comes up, though, is that Bobby Eaton's basically eating shit the entire time now. Like, he's eating shit for a long time. He gets like double teamed in the corner. There's at one point when Fatu tags in, he misses a big spear into the turnbuckle, and then Bobby's really slow to get to the tag. But he does make a hot tag to Stan Lane. Stan Lane comes in a house of fire. He hits good. He whips into the ringside Fatu, and then Stan Lane hits this big Russian leg sweep for a 2 count as Samu comes in and breaks up the tag. We get all 4 men in the ring beating each other up now. Referee's losing control here. Samu hits a big Swat kick, Savat kick, or Stan Lane hits a big Savat kick with Samu. And then he goes to the top rope and then does this drop. But then what I imagine was like going to be a fog splash. And then all of a sudden the Road Warriors break in and they start beating up the Samoan SWAT team while the referee is distracted. And which I was like, I don't even know how the referee got distracted, because it was like, like what happened? I didn't even see how. It was so bad. It was like the referee was almost like, oh wait, I'm supposed to go over here now. Okay, like almost like he was an NFL referee. Like, don't look at the Chiefs. They're gonna do something. And then all of a sudden, you know, the Road Warriors come in. They hit like a big double clothesline, and then Stanley kind of comes in and steals the victory away from the Samoan SWAT team. And the total match was 6 minutes long. I thought it was going to be the best match of the night. It might be a coin flip between this and the final, because the final is good, but I kind of like this match a lot more. Also because the Midnight's win, but the ending was a little bit screwy just because of the Road Warriors coming in at the end. But what did you think?
No, I really like this. I actually have my notes match of the night so far. At the start of the match, Bobby went for a bulldog, but the other Samoan hit him with a super kick, which I thought I'd never seen before, which was pretty dope. And I like that a lot. Fatu had a big clothesline to him as well. And then during the match, we had a nice side Russian leg sweep from Stan, but got two and it got a 2 count. I really liked that a lot. The ref actually got hit. Like, it's one of those like, oh my God, he got hit. But I love the Road Warriors running in. And I didn't realize like that they kind of had like the Madison Square Garden like set up tonight, like where it's like in the middle where the wrestlers come down, which I thought was cool. And I just love the Road Warriors coming down. They did what they needed to do. I thought a ref was trying to get him out of the way, but it was Paul Ellering at the end when they were leaving. But no, I really enjoyed that match. So yeah, it's like my match of the night so far. I just love the Midnight Express like you do. Yeah, them and the Fantastics are great. Fantastics are an underrated tag team. I know you've spoken about them before, but that just needs to be said.
Thank you. I appreciate that. No, I mean, this is great. Now, the cool thing is that they did give us that little hype video for the Road Warriors, and I don't know if anybody at the time was expecting them to show up. So that was kind of cool that they showed up, and not like interfering with the Freebirds or anything. Like, they're in there to fuck around with the Samoan SWAT team. So you're looking at a future Haas fight between these two tag teams, which was nice. We then get a little recap of what happened at Wrestle War. After Flair defeats Steamboat and Terry Funk comes in, and my favorite thing of all time is, oh, Mr. Flair, I was just fooling. I don't really want to challenge you for the world title. I just want to say thank you, and I would have voted for you anyway, Mr. Flair. And then Terry Funk proceeds to fucking snap and beat the shit out of Flair. Fucking pile driving him on the table. I love it while he's beating him up while he's in his fucking tuxedo. It's awesome. It's awesome. And I think that's actually like, because again, I didn't really watch wrestling when I was little. So I missed like Terry in WWF. So this was like my first introduction of like Terry Funk. So fucking, can you not get a better introduction from Terry Funk? I mean, the only other thing that would have been better is the empty arena match against Jerry Lawler. I mean, that's really the only other way you could see Terry Funk and be like, that's who this guy is. I mean, it's so awesome. He was so fucking badass in '89. I love it. So I was excited for that.
Yeah, he's on another level, and we'll get to it tonight, but he's amazing in the main event.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. And I think we're not at the other sizzle reel yet. So I think the next matchup here is this matchup blew me away. Only because of
big men slapping meat.
Seriously, like we're talking Haas fight. It's Terry Gordy of the Freebirds and recently divorced from the varsity club, Steve Williams. So again, during this journey, we've seen Steve Williams be a babyface to a heel to a babyface again. So he's back to being a babyface. Jim Ross making the point to say that he's got new gear on and everything. He's like, new gear must be getting away from them people over there and Kevin Sullivan. So, but this is literally just a big fucking, like you said, meaty men slapping meat, especially considering that at this point in 1989, they're not friends, but like less than 2 years later or 2 years later, they become like one of the best fucking tag teams of all time, I think. So kind of cool. But we come in and they start off and Terry Gordy comes out. Steve Williams kind of like sneaks in. So he doesn't get like fully introduced. He kind of sneaks in and they immediately start fisticuffing with each other. Steve Williams comes in. He hits him with a big football tackle. And then we get another Irish rip into the corner, but Terry Gordy hits a big clothesline and knocks Steve Williams down. Gordy then drives Steve Williams' head into the turnbuckle, an Irish whip, another big clothesline in the corner by Terry Gordy. And like I said, Jim Ross mentions that he got new gear and he's getting a ton of like cheers and stuff from the fans. So he's total full baby face right now. But we end up having just back and forth punching and back and forth, like just clotheslines and just, it's awesome. It's just two fucking big guys beating each other up. It kind of doesn't slow down until Terry Gordy gets him into like a bear hug, but then he hits a back suplex and kind of knocks Steve Williams down a little bit. We get a couple right hands. Gordy puts him into a reverse chin lock, rest hold, which is where I got up to take a piss. No, I'm just kidding. It was really fast paced at the beginning, but now it's slowing down a bit. But Gordy hits a big body slam to Steve Williams, but then Steve Williams gets up and reverses it with a big body slam onto Terry Gordy. We get another big body slam by Gordy, and then Steve Williams is revving up again. Gordy keeps kind of going out to the ring. Like, it was kind of funny. Like, every time like he'd get hit or Williams would get a little bit of momentum, Gordy would take a powder. And he did that like 3 or 4 times, I felt like, where he just kind of kept getting out of the ring and like walking around, which was kind of interesting. And then we got not like a full true King of the Mountain spot, but it was like, you know, he'd come in and then he'd get in before, like Williams would chase him and then Gordy would get in and then he would try to like hit Williams. But then another time it was like he went out, Gordy stayed in, and then, or Gordy went out, Williams came in, and then Williams hit him. It was kind of like a back and forth, kind of interesting just to see a little bit different. Not unlike the match from the last show, where or was it the one before that I watched where it was Bob Orton and Dick Murdoch. It was one of the deleted matches from Raging Cajun. It was kind of like that, where it was like you didn't expect it to be good, but it was, because you would think like Dick Murdoch and Bob Orton in 1989, they're not going to really put on like a clinic, but they did. And it was actually a really interesting match to watch because it was like mirror images. I feel like Steve Williams and Terry Gordy are almost the same way, where they're kind of like mirror images of each other. And then Terry Gordy looked like he was going to leave at one point, and he was just fucking, I'm done. And he's like, I'm out. And he starts walking up, like, as you said, walking up the back, up the middle of the aisleway, like they do in Madison Square Garden. And then the two of them start fighting in the aisle, and it ends up being a double count out. So both, I think Steve Williams realized like right at like probably the 8 count that like, oh shit, we're getting counted out. And he tried to run back in, but it was too late. And it was a 10. They had a double count out. Match ended at 6 minutes, 26 seconds. Even though it was kind of like a shitty finish and also like just a weird match overall, I still like this. It was kind of fun. I was excited to see these guys again. And, you know, I just was really hoping that I hope we got some good back and forths from these guys for a little bit before they decided to start teaming up together.
This was a fuck finish, and I didn't like the finish, but I understand it because they wanted bullshit. They couldn't lose because of Japan. That's basically what it boils down to. None could take the other finish. We see this all the time.
Okay. They do end up being on opposing War Games teams at Great American Bash. So Great American Bash.
They do. I watched that Great American Bash. But like, it's like a fuck finish, which I didn't really like. But these were two men just beating the shit out of each other. I like that Dr. Death hit a nice football tackle at the start. Then Terry killed him with a clothesline.
Killed him. Yeah, it's great. I mean,
it was a hell of a clothesline. But yeah, there's a lot of bullshit chant after this.
I mean, we get ready for the next matchup, which again is the next kind of jobber match, which is Norman the Lunatic versus Mike Justice. Question mark? I didn't even know who this was. It's just, again, it was another. The only thing to note with this is that Norman the Lunatic comes out with Teddy Long. He's in his best orderly attire or his scrubs attire, whatever you want to say. And this is Norman the Lunatic, Mike Shaw, Bastion Booger, Friar Ferguson, McCon Singh, Man Mountain Mike, Trucker Norm, Mike the Danger, Aaron Grundy. Guy went by 1,000 names, but it's another
Bastion Booger.
He was Bastion Booger kid, fucking Friar Ferguson kid. But this is another one that lasts 47 seconds. That's it. The only thing I think of note is that he hits him like with the big splash in the corner, like an avalanche, which kind of looked pretty good. But other than that, that was like it. Like he hit a clothesline and then like forearm shots, and that's about it. It was a 47-second match. Thankfully, it wasn't 47 minutes, and it was over again before it started. So yeah, that's kind of a dud. But I guess you got to give people a chance. It's funny, this isn't even long enough to be a popcorn match, but I guess it could have been, because I mean they do have a lot. They do interject a lot of shit into like the middle of this stuff. Like I think this is where we get our Freebird interview, I think, right?
Yeah, after this. But I do have something else to say. They spent more time with like the quote unquote white coats coming down with the gurney to strap him down than the fucking match was.
That's right. Yes, and that's a big thing I forgot. Yeah, is that he gets taken away on a gurney at the end, and he has
a seatbelt that's wrapped around his head, like that. They say that's what they use to strap him down. It's a whole fucking thing.
It is a whole thing. Unfortunately, it's a whole thing. But we do get a Freebird interview. I'm going to put the Freebird interview in right here because it's kind of coal.
We're back here, ladies and gentlemen, one of the teams that will be in the finals tonight. I cannot believe that you have joined the Freebirds, Jimmy Garvin.
Let me tell you something, Pally. There's going to be some new rules and regulations made around here. That's right. All you people with the shaved heads better pay attention. We're gonna lay down some new rules and regulations, and we're not following no rules that we don't want to follow. We're gonna break whatever rules we want to break, and I'm gonna tell you now, I don't think there's a tag team in the country that can touch Jimmy Garvin, Michael Hayes, or Terry Gordy. I'm gonna say it again. I don't think there's a man walking the stinking face of the earth that can take Jimmy Garvin, Michael Hayes, or Terry Gordy.
Well, there's no doubt about that, Jim Ross. You know, we've been high up on Freebird Mountain. We've been high up on Freebird Mountain, talking this whole situation over. And I want you to know that we've got it down. And as far as you, Steve Williams, you want to be the All-American boy. Well, let me tell you something, boy. You're looking at the Big Daddy right here.
And then after that, we have now this is where I like to say we get the sizzle reels. We get the Flying Brian sizzle reel. And this is great because I remember talking to Sean about this. Sean loves this clash for these two kind of sizzle reels. You get the Flying Brian one, and then you get the one that comes up later on. And he loves this. And he likes this because it's like it was them introducing like two new hot talent guys that were going to be coming to the territory. So I kind of like that. And we get this, of course, before we have the next match, which is just the Varsity Club, which is Mike Rotunda, my favorite wrestler of all time, and Kevin Sullivan going up against the Steiner brothers, Rick and Scott, with Missy Hyatt at their side. Now, again, I had said earlier that I think the Varsity Club is pretty much done at this point, right? I don't think they don't have Steve Williams anymore. Obviously, they don't have Rick Steiner, but I don't think they have Dan Spivey either. I think this is it. I think Dan Spivey might be gone at this point. And so it's really down to Rotunda and Kevin Sullivan. And I think we're not that far off, huh?
They were calling him Captain Mike, so he's about to get the fucking boat soon.
Yeah, so
And be
he's
Captain
and
Mike.
when he starts having the boat and he's Captain Mike, it's all done. He's no longer they're all done. So yeah, I think the varsity club is definitely on its way out at that point. So yeah, I guess this is kind of like the swan song for them. But and they're going up against the Steiner brothers, who again, this is this ongoing feud that Rick Steiner has had with the varsity club since he left. But this isn't part of the tournament or anything. This is just strictly a straight up tag team match between these two teams. And now he's got Scott. I think this is Scott's first television match. I think this was like his first. I think this was his first match on TV, or it's at least the first matchup of the Steiner brothers had together.
Okay,
on television.
I wasn't sure.
Yeah. I think it's their first match on television together as a team. So that's kind of cool, at least in NWA. So we get so we start off with Scott starting off in the ring, but then he starts off with Kevin Sullivan, but then we get like a boot to the face from Mike Rotundo, which doesn't affect him. And then Scott starts taking it to Kevin Sullivan, punching him in the head. Mike Rotundo comes in, but then Rick Steiner jumps in and he starts taking it to Mike Rotundo, which the two of them bail, and the Steiners are now in the ring together. Once again, the match kind of starts off again, and it starts again with Kevin Sullivan and Scott Steiner. We get an Irish whip and a big shoulder block by Kevin Sullivan. Steiner gets up, another Irish whip and a big scoop slam by Scott Steiner. Tags me into Mike Rotundo, and Rotundo wants Rick, and he kind of points to him. So Scott tags Rick in. So Steiner and Rotundo are in, and don't forget, these guys had feuded over the World Television Championship, which is now on neither one of them. And we get some headlocks, reverse headlocks. We get this big hip toss there. One of the things I like, too, is that at one point, there was some good mat wrestling where Rick's got, like, Mike Rotundo in a headlock, and then Rotundo kind of goes down to the mat, and he pulls Rick over for, like, a quick 2 count. But then Rick kind of turns back around to, being upright with the headlock in, but then he does it again, and Rotundo gets another 2 count, and then he kind of like Mike Rotundo gets back up to his feet, and he hits like a nice little belly to belly suplex to break the hold, which I thought was kind of cool. So Rotundo really showing like mat skill wrestling, which I guess I liked during this era of Mike Rotundo. I kind of wish he had done.
He's not the guy that you hated as IRS. He was actually doing work.
Yeah, which I'm trying to think. I actually probably wouldn't have hated him as much. You know what? I don't know if I hate Mike Rotundo or if I hate his kids. I really don't think I hate Mike Rotundo. I think I just say he's the worst father of all time because I didn't like his kids. And it's really, I don't like the friggin' Bray Wyatt shit. And I feel bad for Bo Dallas having to continue on with that nonsense, but whatever. I don't know. I hope Mike Rotundo feels better and gets better soon, because I don't want to put any bad juju out there. So, but we get a collar and elbow tie up into another headlock. It's like endless headlocks, I feel like, with this match. But then I think Rick hits. Oh no, Mike Rotundo I think hits a big. No, Scott comes in with a quick tag, and then we get into Mike Rotundo. He hits a big crossbody for 2 count. Then he hits a big suplex. He goes for another suplex attempt, and it looks like there's a little bit of a reversal because we get Kevin Sullivan kind of coming in, and there's like a little bit of kerfuffle between like all 4 men. The big thing though is that they start like the varsity club starts double teaming onto Scott. Scott's kind of eating a lot of shit in this before he ends up getting a big tag. And there's a lot of back.
Yeah, it's weird seeing. It's weird seeing him being.
It's weird. Yeah, but again, this is when he's real young, so he's definitely going to be the one that's the baby face in peril. And I mean, one thing I will say about Kevin Sullivan and Mike Rotundo when they're together is that they really do. They do gel very well as like a tag team, as like a heel tag team. So like there is a lot of like back and forth tags between them. And it's all like back and forth to like kind of like just little stupid shit, like quick little like tag, kick, then a tag, punch, then a tag, kick, that kind of thing. But Rick ends up getting the hot tag. It comes in, he fights off both members of the varsity club. Rotundo gets in the corner. Kevin Sullivan comes in and tries to get him out of the corner, but we get a double clothesline now by both members of the Steiner brothers. We get a big scoop slam by Scott on a Mike Rotundo. There's a chair in the ring, which I'm assuming Kevin Sullivan throws the chair in the ring. Kevin Sullivan and Scott and Rick kind of fall out and get thrown out of the ring, at which point Mike Rotundo hits a big suplex onto the steel chair, and Scott gets pinned for the 3 count at 8 minutes and 36 seconds. Kind of, again, like a little bit of a screwy finish. Just because it's like, again, the referees a lot of referees getting distracted so shit can get set up tonight, which is kind of just disappointing. But, kind of cool that I guess that they don't win. Like, not all the baby faces win, which is nice. So, I guess we'll take this as a win for the Varsity Club and just call it a day. What'd you think?
So the Steiner brothers are my favorite tag team ever. I think they're the best. It was weird not seeing Scott in the singlet. He was just in like draws. They threw him on a table, and like he landed right on the table. And this was 1989. That table did not break. And then they threw him in the ring steps, and you see his back is all fucked up. It was real bad. I like how Rick did like 10 punches in the corner to both men because obviously Rotundo was like on the ropes, but like Kevin Sullivan came to like stop it, and he was just hitting both of them, and it got to 10. I really liked that. I was shocked that the Varsity Club got the win, but they've been feuding with Rick Steiner since he broke up with them in like October or November of '88 because like they had the Starrcade match where Rick won the TV title, and then Rotundo won it back, I want to say. So they've been feuding for a while, so this continues.
It does continue at nice. And I mean, but I think they're about to wrap it up because like you said, Mike Rotundo's getting the captain gimmick. He's going to be the baby face soon. He's going to be running with Norman the Lunatic soon and like a baby face group. So that's going to be interesting to see. I think now is when we get the Jim Cornette interview, I believe.
Let me just say one thing about what happened with the Samoan SWAT team. The Midnight Express have never asked for any help from anybody, but we're smart enough to take a little when it comes along and capitalize on an advantage, and that's what we did. And Paulie, that's what I told you we were going to do, win one way or another. Now the fabulous Freebirds. Michael Hayes, you talk about how many girls you got, how many broads you... These guys here in the Army know more about broads than Michael Hayes will ever dream of. And I've seen the women the Freebirds go out with. If the Midnight Express ever woke up next to one of them, they'd gnaw their arm off at the shoulder just to escape without waking the beast up. But tag team wrestling, the Freebirds, the Midnight Express, probably the two most legendary names in the history of tag team wrestling. The Freebirds 10 years ago were the sensation. The Midnight Express for the past 5 years. We've never met. Well, this time, the first one is going to the Midnight Express. We're going to be the World Tag Team Champions, and I'm going to be right here to make sure the third Freebird doesn't interfere in that match.
Perfect.
And then we come back to Governor. Listen to me, Jesus Christ. You would think that I'd fucking know how to talk with doing a fucking podcast. Governor Jim Martin, who again welcomes us to Clash of the Champions. It's like we're already like an hour and 20 minutes into this fucking thing, and he's still like, "Hey, everybody, I want to welcome you in to you're coming in, and thank you for watching us here." But so he again wishes us a very happy Flag Day and thank you, happy birthday to the United States Army and all this kind of stuff. But he was North Carolina governor. Still alive, still with us from 1985 to 1993. He was the, he was also a representative of North Carolina's 9th congressional district. So, I don't know. You don't know him, right? Because you weren't from North Carolina. So,
no, I have no idea. I do know he had a horrible fucking toupee. That mop on his head was ridiculous. It looked horrible. Like
it did, yeah.
He probably said some racist shit. He just had the look that he was racist as fuck.
Yeah, come on now.
But I will say we're in North Carolina in the 80s, exactly. But I will say Jim Cornette had this line that he says he's seen the woman the Freebirds go out with, if the Midnight Express woke up beside them, they gnaw off their own arms to escape from the wildebeests, which was an amazing fucking line.
Hey, man, you can say what you want about Jim Cornette, but that motherfucker knows how to cut a promo.
He really does, and he's like so quick with it. Like he's talking to fucking a mile a minute, and like he's like I'm not gonna say we didn't appreciate the Road Warriors winning. Of course, we're gonna take the pin, which like yeah, I'm a babyface now, but like we're still gonna do it.
We're not fucking stupid. I saw this, I saw like a Maven's podcast, and he had on Jim Cornette's favorite human being, Vince Russo, your favorite human being, I believe, too, correct? And
yeah, he fucking sucks.
And it just I don't know what's funnier is what Vince Russo says or the fact that he doesn't cut a promo on Jim Cornette. But like Maven holds up a picture of Jim Cornette and he looks at it and he goes, he's a genius. And I was like, oh, that's gonna burn Cornette even more. Like the fact that he won't fight back is gonna burn him even more.
Yeah, he just wants it,
He just wants to piss on his grave. That's all. So, but speaking of pissing on a grave, the next matchup we have is your NWA World Television Champion Sting, the man called Sting. I believe one of your favorites, correct? What fucking happened? Hold on. I was just
said
about. What did I say?
Little stingers have come out.
Oh yeah. Okay. So so we're at the matchup where the NWA World Television Champion Sting, who I believe is your favorite wrestler of all time.
Recording.
I am recording.
You're not recording.
I am recording.
It says paused on my screen.
It says recording on my screen.
Yeah, it says paused 108:27.
Is it recording now?
I still don't see it yet.
It's recording on mine, so we should be okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to let you know.
I know.
Sorry.
Thank you. That's all right. So, all right. So I'll just skip this thing here. All right. So the next matchup we have is NWA World Television Champion Sting going up against Wild Bill Irwin. Sting comes out in the ring with a bunch of little stingers at his side, and right before the match begins, Bill Irwin's trying to play the king of the mountain by refusing to let Sting into the ring. He keeps using his bullwhip or something, and he's kind of whipping it up until the referee takes it away from him, at which point Sting quickly comes in and hits a bulldog immediately and then a drop kick into the corner. You were like chuckling. What are you chuckling about?
Just how like you said, like the king of the mountain, like I was just laughing because it was just like that's what he was. Like he was whipping that bullwhip like no other.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, I'll let you continue with the match. Sorry.
Well, no, but that's cool. I like this because I know Sting is your favorite wrestler. So, Sting takes control with some fists, some back and forth fists and kicks between him and Bill Irwin. Irwin does return with an Irish whip into the turnbuckle, and then he hits a splash. He picks up Sting and hits him with a hot shot to the top rope, and then just kind of throws Sting into the top rope, like kind of weird. Like he just clotheslines like the side of Sting's face on the top rope, which was kind of weird. Bill Irwin gets a big back elbow to Sting. He picks up Sting, gets some fists to the head, a big elbow to the head. Sting gets back up on his feet, but Bill Irwin is punching him in the midsection. We get an Irish whip. Bill Irwin ducks, and Sting kicks him in the midsection, and now goes for a big back rake as he hits a suplex on the Bill Irwin for a 1 count. Crowd's going crazy for Sting. They keep chanting like Sting, Sting, Sting. So really, Sting's fucking hot at this point in 1989. Makes kind of sense since his tag team partner is real fucking hot on the other side of the world. So his 4 tag team partners are real hot. So yeah. But then we get a big roundhouse punch to Bill Irwin. Sting goes to hit the Stinger Splash. He misses, and he kind of almost eats shit. But then he kind of jumps on the top rope and does like almost like a crossbody, which Irwin catches him and then kind of spins it around into a spine buster, which I thought was kind of a nice little counter-offensive move there. But then for some bizarre reason, Bill Irwin goes to the corner to get his not bullwhip, but like whatever the thing is that you whip horse with. and he's like
Yeah,
taunting the crowd.
they were calling it a bullwhip.
They would call it? Okay. So he's taunting the crowd, at which point fucking Sting just gets up, hits the Stinger Splash, and then gets him in like a schoolboy pin or a scoop pinfall for the 1-2-3 victory. Time of the match was 3 minutes and 14 seconds. So, I mean, I'll be honest, not a bad title defense for Sting. I really didn't mind this. I mean, I don't mind quick matches like this if they kind of make sense. And I felt like this kind of made sense. Like, Bill Irwin's not going to fucking give him a 20-minute match on a fucking show. Like, he's not Bill. Who the fuck is Bill Irwin at this point in his career? You know what I'm saying? So I didn't mind it. I thought it was a little bit, it was less than a, it was more than a squash, but less than like a legitimate match. And honestly, I don't mind Sting coming out, getting the crowd riled up. It's almost like he's almost basically doing what Ranger Ross did at the beginning of the show, you know? And Sting's over like a fucking bandit at this point in his career. So yeah, I liked it. I did. I actually liked it. For as short as it was and kind of as inconsequential as it was, I fucking loved it. So what'd you think? I know you liked it. I know you liked it.
I mean, it was just a quick squash. It was 3 minutes, like he said. Bill Irwin actually got more offense than I thought. I just really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Sting with his rat tail. I know Sean Kidd had a rat tail at one point because he's told me about it. I don't know if he said it on the podcast. Yeah, he had a little rat tail, which
yeah.
Like
but
no, it was just a fun match. I wanted more than anything to be a little Stinger. Growing up, I've met him a couple of times at cons and stuff. So yeah, it's awesome. So, but no, it's just just to get Sting out on the show. Basically every big name NWA wrestler is on this show tonight.
Yeah. And what's funny is I recently picked up, I think I sent you a picture. I picked up a Sting action figure, like an AEW one, where it's him, like, I think it's this Sting, actually. Like, if I look at the face paint, I think it's this Sting. So it's probably like Sting from like 89. It's like kind of cool. I kind of like that AEW does all these Sting figures. I kind of like that. So yeah.
Well, dude, I would have given so much money for like more WCW Sting stuff, like action figures, but WWE didn't do that much. Like they did like a couple, and when he first became the Crow, and literally his contract ran out, and they just stopped.
I think unfortunately most of the Sting figures that you get nowadays are of him as the Crow, which is kind of fucking stupid because it's like, dude, the guy. I mean, like, they're literally putting out a fucking Ultimate Warrior figure, like, every month now. Every new time they put out a new line, they put out a Warrior or a Savage with a different outfit. And it's like, dude, Sting had just as many friggin' outfits and just as many, like, costume changes as friggin' Warrior or Savage. Like, you could literally fill up an entire shelf of brightly colored Sting, you know? And yet they always seem to just go back to, like, the Crow or his NWA, or I don't know. They don't do TNA ones, but they probably should. But yeah, no, I like Sting. I do. I don't hate Sting. I think I gave shit to Sting on a friggin' either the first Clash or I gave shit on a shit take, but that was mostly just to give you a bit of a rib. But I don't mind Sting.
Yeah, you did on the first Clash pod. I was listening to it, rebuilding the server, and was like, "This son of a bitch."
But I did it as I was doing it to rib you and make Sean Kidd laugh. But I don't hate Sting. I know you drove all the way to where was it that you drove to go see him? Was it Atlanta?
I didn't drive.
Greensboro
for his final match.
That's Greensboro. Yeah. See, I knew you went somewhere.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was worth it. It was worth it. It was amazing. One of my favorite events I've been to.
Jesus Christ. Do you fucking suck his balls when you see him at shows too? I would if he asked me. Didn't you tell me you got that? Did you get that multi-pack with him, Savage, and Luger from Bash of the Beach or not?
Yeah. I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
I spent like $65 for it. It's probably worth like $260 now.
Oh, well, you got to keep that. So it's good times. So, Speaking of good times, now we get to our second sizzle reel, and this is the one that I think really gets Sean Kidd going for Gator Scott Hall. What do you think about?
Dude,
what do you think about Gator Scott Hall?
Dude, it's amazing. Like like he has a blonde mullet. He looks like fucking Magnum PI, and like you could tell he didn't really want to get too close to the Gators because he's like 5 feet away in every fucking one. Where he's like, "Look, it's right there, it's right there!" Like as he's pointing at it, and it's like, "Yo, what the fuck is going on right now?"
Fucking Magnum TA, fucking Scott Hall, Magnum SH. They should have called him. Fucking Christ sakes, he was definitely playing a Magnum TA character, which is awesome. But goddamn, could you imagine if they did the right thing with him at the beginning? I'm one of these people that I think, and I said this on a shit take, where I think Scott Hall should have got the Kevin Nash push in 94, 95, and that I think you should have had Scott Hall as the world champion, Razor Ramon as the world champion in 95, and
it would have been great.
I think he would have been fantastic. He's up there in my opinion with Perfect and Jake the Snake for not ever having won a world title. I'd put him over Jake because I think Jake didn't need a world title, but a world title run for Jake would have been fun. I just don't know where you fit it in. But like everybody always talks about Piper. I don't think Piper definitely did not need a run. He could have been a good world champion, but I don't think he needed it at all. But I think Perfect should have been a world champion. I think Razor Ramon should have been a world champion. And honestly, I would have thrown Owen Hart a world title run too, just even if it was for like a couple of months, just to do it. But yeah, no, I mean, what could have happened, but it didn't. So yeah, but we get that little real sizzle of Scott Hall, Gator Scott Hall coming in. And then we cut to this Ric Flair interview, which I haven't decided yet if I want to put the whole thing in or if I want to just put some of it in, because it's not wicked long, but I don't know. I never really thought it was like the greatest interview ever. Jim Ross is at Flair's home in Charlotte, and Jim Ross looking real sharp too in his with his shirt and his tie and his suspenders. No jacket though. But he goes in and Flair's got the big fucking neck brace on. He's got the fucking neck brace. And it's so funny.
And he's also wearing a Lakers jacket too. Yeah. And it's like hotter than shit out. And I'm like, dude, I'm hot just fucking staring at you right now.
Well, he's in his house. I'd have to imagine that Flair's got air conditioning in his house, right? But
but he's still going outside.
Well, it's funny though you mentioned the Lakers because you're talking about the Lakers, and then earlier you were talking about the Detroit Pistons on the Steiner brothers. So it's kind of funny. We had and the Lakers, like Flair. I mean, I guess the Hornets weren't around then, right? So there wasn't a team in Charlotte.
Well, actually, if you hear like promos in the 80s, he's always talking about how the Lakers are winning and how he's a Lakers fan.
You know what? That makes sense now, because do you remember when Dusty had that friggin' Celtics jacket and like Dusty was like a Celtics fan? So that actually makes way more sense now. That Flair being a Lakers fan is why Dusty is either vice versa. That makes way more sense now. Okay. But so basically Jim Ross is here to talk about Flair and his recovery to getting up to his facing of Terry Funk and what's going to happen. And I like how they don't really know, what's going to happen. It's like so funny. It's like they don't know what's going to happen. He's got another 30 days to compete, and he's not really sure what's going to happen, Jim. I'm not really sure. But kind of your typical like hurt babyface promo. It is funny seeing Flair cutting like a babyface promo where like we're supposed to be sympathetic for this guy, just because like every other part of his life he's been a piece of shit. So it's like it's kind of weird. This is a point where you have to feel sorry for him, but I don't know. What do you think?
Him saying this is the worst accident he's ever had. Motherfucker survived a plane crash that he even talks about. He's like, this is worse than the plane crash. I'm like, are you sure? Are you sure?
Well, they're
Paul driven on a table.
Dude, they're trying to push it. They're trying to push it.
It works because they're saying he's making an announcement on his future on 7/1. That's when we'll hear about the future of the world title as well. So very good. Makes me want to tune in to WCW programming on 7-1. So I'm happy.
Yeah. And it's like, and Jim Ross is like, oh, on 7-1 on TBS. Don't forget to watch TBS. It's like, okay, thanks.
TBS.
Thanks, Jim. So then we go now to the finals of the vacant World Heavyweight title, World Tag Team Championship match. The Freebirds against the Midnights. One thing I want to note is I don't know, did the Midnights also change? I don't think the Midnights changed their gear, but the Freebirds
They did not change.
The Freebirds did, because or at least Michael Hayes does, because he comes out in, I'm not gonna lie, he comes out in these fucking awesome blue tights. I really like these blue tights for some reason. I really do. So he comes out again. They're with Terry Gordy, who looks exhausted. He just looks exhausted the whole time. Like, you talk about wet and sweaty. He looks wet and sweaty. All I can think of is
he's.
Oh, go ahead.
It's his third time out there. I'd be tired too.
But all I could think of is how fucking hot this building must be getting, like, over the course of this day. But even before the match starts, Paul E comes in and sneak attacks and hits Jim Cornette with a loaded tennis racket of his own. And we get a little bit of commotion outside as Jim Ross is knocked the fuck out. And the Dynamic Dudes, who I forgot he was managing the Dynamic Dudes as well. So they come out and pick him up and carry him back. And now the Midnights have to face against the Freebirds with Terry Gordy on the side by themselves. So this is going to be kind of a, I don't know. I think we can see shenanigans will be afoot in this matchup. Don't you think?
Oh yeah. I did like the rack had like weights tied to it, metal chain, so it was like not a normal rack, which I thought was nice. I love how the Cornette's carried out by the Dynamic Dudes, like he'd just been shot in war. Like they both grabbed like like one of them grabbed his feet, the other one grabbed his arms, and like he's being let out like this. But
and I feel like, doesn't Jim Ross even say something about like a medical examiner in the back? Like,
yeah, it's like, oh,
I hope he got a medical examiner in the back there. Yeah. But no, that's kind of funny. So once again, we start off with Michael Hayes going up against Stan Lane, collar elbow tie up, headlock by Michael Hayes, Irish whip into the rope, stuck underneath, and a big hip toss by Stan Lane. We get a big scoop slam by Stan Lane, another arm drag, another arm drag, and another arm drag, and another arm drag, and another arm drag. Michael Hayes bails out to Jimmy Garvin, who tags in. Jimmy tags in. We get a quick double team move here by the Midnights. Bobby Eaton's now in with Jimmy Garvin. Collar elbow tie up. Quick tags back and forth between Stan Lane and Bobby Eaton here. Stan Lane hits a nice little crescent kick and then another savate kick onto Jimmy Garvin. We get sorry, my cat just came in and distracted me. Just opened my bedroom door and came in. Another quick tag to Bobby Eaton, an Irish whip, big double elbow, and a pinfall for a 2 count. Jimmy Garvin's getting up and backing into the corner. We start to get things to slow down for a little bit. Michael Hayes is kind of jawing to the crowd. And all of a sudden, like, you see like this weird kind of explosion of like just Hayes and Garvin just like chewing out the crowd. And then they kind of cut to the crowd and it almost looked like there was like a riot going on. So the Freebirds were definitely getting the crowd hot. And I kind of made a note where I was like, Jesus Christ, I hope there was no guns or anything going on or knives in that area right now, because holy shit, it was a little dangerous for them. But I guess if you're going to start a fight with somebody, you probably would want Terry Gordy at your side. I bet you Terry Gordy would
1,000%
in a real fight. So yeah, I guess Michael Hayes had a reason to jaw if he wanted to. But and then it was funny because like Jimmy Garvin starts coming in and like freaking out, like he doesn't want to hear it. And he puts his hands over his ears, like, I don't want to hear them making fun of me. And it's like, okay, well, you know, you're with this dickhead right now. They're going to be telling you suck. But anyway, we get back in. Another start off with another collar elbow tie up. Jimmy Garvin with a big whip into the rope and then a big knee to the midsection. Scoop slam. Jimmy soup slams Bobby Eaton, picks him up, and another big scoop slam. Tags in Michael Hayes, and he throws Bobby Eaton to the outside. Now, this is kind of funny. This is like the next part that seems to happen is Bobby Eaton keeps getting like thrown to the outside, and then like he gets thrown at one point into the ring barricade, and then he gets thrown like out of the ring into the ring barricade. So he keeps like getting beat up on the outside, which is kind of cool. And it's not from like, it's from either Jimmy Garvin or Michael Hayes. Like, it's not even Terry Gordy at this point. Like, you know, he comes into play a little bit later on, but like Bobby Eaton's definitely the face in peril in here, and like struggles to get back into the ring. And then every time he gets back in the ring, I feel like they throw him back out again. But at one point, like Stan Lane comes in to try to like, you know, get in because Michael Hayes is like strutting around and like doing the fucking Michael Hayes shuffle to Stan Lane. So he comes in, the referee gets distracted, and then Jimmy Garvin starts choking Bobby Eaton on the outside of the ring. And then he kind of just drops him down, and it's just under the guardrail. So again, like Bobby Eaton's just really taking the brunt of this beating right now. He gets back on the ring, gets thrown into the Freebirds corner. Another big double back elbow by both the Freebirds on Bobby Eaton. We get a reverse chin lock from Jimmy Garvin. Jimmy Garvin attempts to throw Bobby Eaton's head into the turnbuckle, but Eaton blocks it, and he ends up throwing Jimmy Garvin's head in the turnbuckle. We get an Irish whip into the opposite corner, and by Bobby Eaton, and he gives a big elbow to Jimmy Garvin. Jimmy ducks out of the way, and there's a hot tag to Stan Lane. Stan Lane comes in, but then it's like Stan Lane gets the hot tag, but then like he tags Bobby Eaton kind of quick back in, and there's like a little bit of back and forth there. But then like Stan Lane hits a nice drop kick on Michael Hayes. Jimmy Garvin gets in the rope, and there's a big double back suplex by the Midnights. Jimmy Garvin's now in the ring with both of the Midnights. We get this kind of like flapjack move, it looks like. And then Michael Hayes,
awesome.
Michael Hayes gets tied up with Stan Lane. And when the referee goes to like get the two of them out, Terry Gordy comes in and he hits this awesome fucking powerbomb on Bobby Eaton. Like awesome powerbomb while the referee is distracted, and the Freebirds steal the victory at 10 minutes and 3 seconds. So yeah. And there's your new tag team champions. No belts. So I don't know why they didn't have the belts with them, but no belts. But the three of them are celebrating on the outside of the ring as the new tag team champions. So what did you think?
I didn't realize that there was no belt, so that's a nice catch. But that power bomb was stiff as shit. I really like this match a lot. Like just
this is the match.
It's just so good.
Yeah, this is the match of the night.
I'm gonna go with the main event, but I think it's the second best match.
Oh, really? Okay. Oh, all right. Okay. See, I think it's the ending of the main event that kind of does it not for me, like doesn't seal it for me. Plus, like I said, I'm a fucking mark for all of these guys, but you know, even Michael Hayes. But no, I loved it. I thought the ending was great. I mean, I don't know. I probably, I mean, I guess you're not going to give, but I guess you're not going to give the Midnights the title, but you probably should, you know, but I guess it's good to have the Freebirds get it, you know, even though it went from a heel to another heel, you know, so I don't know, but that's me.
Yeah, it was, God, I just really enjoyed it. Like I would say go out your way and watch this match. It's not that long, like Keithie said. It's just a lot of fun. No wasted moment, it feels like. I would say watch this match in the main event, which Keithie's about to talk about. But this powerbomb that Gordy hits is just fucking disgusting. Like I can't. Like Bobby's like, the flapjack's amazing. Like, I was like, holy shit! Like,
he picks up Bobby Eaton and is like, he picks him up and hits him like a sack of potatoes. Like, it's fucking great. But but I did like that. It's just again, it's another one of these weird things where it's like Tommy Young's distracted. And again, it's just that weird distraction thing. Like, oh, I got to go over here now. And again, I know everybody hates Tommy Young, but he telegraphs it so bad. He really does. He really is like the worst referee. I mean, because if you go back and you like rewatch the ending, like they get the flapjack, he goes to cover, you know, Bobby Eaton covers Jimmy Garvin. And then like Stan Lane is in because Michael Hayes runs in, Stan Lane like gets him in the corner, and they're in the corner like fighting already. So they're already in the fucking ring together fighting. Okay. It's not like Michael Hayes and Stan Lane decided to come into the ring. They're already in the ring fighting, and Tommy Young counts to 2. Gordy breaks it up, I might add. And then he gets up and he's like, oh wait, there's stuff going on the inside. And then that's where they get the powerbomb. So it's like, again, it's a shitty fucking referee finish, but whatever. It is what it is. But yeah,
Tommy
and
Young
then the ending.
sucks.
And then the ending when they leave, it's so funny because they're all fucking drenched. Like they're soaking wet.
Yeah.
Jimmy Garvin's hair is soaking wet. I feel so
But he's
bad.
lost to Jerry Curl.
Yeah, I feel so bad for the guy. So then we move on to the main event. And again, as I had mentioned earlier, as you had mentioned earlier, this is a top 10 bout. It sparked your interest again, once again, in top 10 rankings and things like that. So we get Steamboat's going up against Terry Funk. I almost kind of feel like too, and maybe I don't know, because again, I wasn't watching, like I didn't watch like all the weekly TVs to lead up to this, but is Ricky Steamboat at all like defending Flair's honor almost, or not really? Is this just
I don't believe so.
Like the number one contender and Terry Funk wants to make his way up to that point?
Yes, that's the way I took it.
Okay. All right. So then that kind of eliminate, because again, I was like, I thought that the ending of Wrestle War, it's like the two of them had mutual respect for each other. And so like when Funk came in and this match happened, I thought it was more or less like I'm going to get revenge for my friend Ric Flair, but I guess not. If it's just, it made more sense when you were talking earlier about how Terry just wants to move up the ranks and he knows he has to beat these guys. So he's going right after the top dog, which makes sense. We get a Bonnie Steamboat appearance, which is nice. So we get underway. I mean, these guys this match starts like 7 times. I feel like it just keeps, and it starts like the same way. It's like collar elbow tie up, chops, punches, chops, bails, comes back in, collar elbow tie up, chops, punches, bails, chops. It's the same thing like over and over again. It doesn't really start to get hot until they both take it to the outside, when you start to see like at one point, like Steamboat throws Terry Garvin into the guardrail. And then we get that awesome spot too, where like Terry Funk comes in and he just kind of like crawls on to Steamboat and starts like punching him in the head. And I was like, oh, that was like kind of cool.
It's
like
disgusting.
It's like real, like just gritty fucking like this is like almost like a yard fight or like a dog fight. Like it's not a professional match between two wrestlers, which I guess is great for Funk, because Terry he's a classic trained wrestler, you know what I mean? But it's just like this is just this next version of Terry Funk that we got for years, which is just this like gritty, real fucking just like realistic fighting, which I kind of liked. I do love that Steamboat picks him up and carries him all the way around the ring to give him a body slam in the ring and the walkway. And the reason why I liked it,
he did a 360 walking outside. Yeah. It was awesome.
And I liked it because it was like almost like a really insulting to Terry Funk, like kind of like when Warrior caught Savage and then put him down and slapped him in the face in the career match. It's like Steamboat's doing this just to fucking embarrass. And then they get back in the ring and he immediately body slams him over the top rope onto the floor again. Kind of fucking funny. But then like Funk gets back up, he hits Steamboat with like a big pile driver, which was kind of awesome. I fucking love the pile driver. And then we get the Nick Patrick ref bump, and which this is just where it kind of goes off the rails. Terry hits another pile driver on the outside of the ring. Now, granted, there is a ring mat, but we all know those ring mats don't protect anything that well. So he hits the second pile driver on the outside. He then suplexes Steamboat in, and Steamboat kicks out. And then Terry just fucking starts punching him. Like, dude, he's punching him like square in the face. And Steamboat's just like laying on the ground. I was like, dude, that would have been the perfect opportunity for like Steamboat to blade, And then Funk goes up to the top rope to do, I'm assuming, like a splash, but then Steamboat gets his knees up. Steamboat starts getting a little bit back. With his kind of like his Ricky the Dragonisms. He hits like a Guntrich knee drop. He hits the Steamboat, like, I call it the Steamboat axe handle. It's basically that claw. But then this is where it really goes off the rails. Terry rolls out onto the announce table, grabs the microphone, hits Steamboat, to which causes a disqualification. And then Luger comes in. And I'll stop right there to see if I missed anything that you wanted to add. Because then this is where I was saying, like, this is like the one angle I feel like this built towards for Great American Bash. So did I miss anything that you want to make mention of?
I laughed really hard when he rolled out on the table. Bob Caudle was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" Like, you could tell the announcers weren't like, they were like so thrown off with that, which made me laugh. I liked when you talked about this when he carried him around the ring and slammed him.
Yeah.
But also Funk hit a neck breaker when they were inside the ring, and Ricky just sold it like he was death. Like,
Yeah.
that was great. And so with what's about to happen, JR was doing a little foreshadowing all night, which I'll talk about when we get there, but I have it in my notes. The pile driver on the outside was sick. I love that. I really thought when Funk went up top that he was going to go for a moonsault because he did that later in life, but he just did the splash. And this is so jarring for me, Keithie, because where I'm at in Russo, we're in May 2000. For you guys that listen or just want to come on. And Funk is the hardcore champion, and those matches are just like garbage, like matches. And this match is like good. Like you said, he's a trained wrestler. He looks great. It's not like just like bumps and like. Ever since he came back to WCW 2000, he just gets his ass beat. But like seeing this, like he looks like ferocious. And I know it's 9 years later, but like fuck. But like Funk has just looked like a madman in this match, and I loved it. And I thought he was going to get away with like hitting him with the mic. I didn't think the ref saw it, but then they called for the disqualification. But yeah, it was just awesome. But I'll let you talk about what happens.
Well, I'm going to put in right here the Luger promo. So I'm going to let people listen to the Luger promo.
You know, there's been a lot of talk. There's been a lot of talk. But I have some problems lately. Some problems with my arrogance, maybe. That I'm too cocky. That I have a problem with maybe too much ego, a lot of ego. I don't have any problems. All I got is a lot of pride. Come on, Ricky, let's go.
And then we come back from this, and it's like he helps up Ricky Steamboat, and you're like, okay, this is where we're going. Because again, Luger had been a babyface. You know, he had been a babyface for, I mean, Jesus, what, over a year at this point now? Almost 2. So I mean, like, and not only that, like Luger was the last big guy to be challenging Flair before Steamboat. So it's like, okay, we can see where this is going. This is going somewhere down the road. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he fucking picks up Ricky Steamboat and fucking clotheslines him, and then takes off his shirt and proceeds to beat the fuck out of Ricky Steamboat with a chair. And it's just like, what the fuck? Like, what is this all about? And then he puts him in the torture rack. It's just, and then it's just like, that's like how we end. And then there's like another quick, not even a real promo, but like a quick kind of like thing. And then Sting comes out and kind of helps him and takes him away and all that. And then it's kind of like, that's where we end it. But I mean, you tell me, what do you think about this? Like, kind of like, this is like the big turn that leads up to Great American Bash. So what's the matchup between Steamboat and Luger?
Yeah, they so before JR was dropping little breadcrumbs all night saying that he wanted Luger to go talk to the men in the military, people in the military, and Luger said he was busy, and like they're saying that Luger was upset that he wasn't the number one contender, and saying like he wanted him out here for a couple matches, but Luger said he would do it when time comes. So he was dropping these little breadcrumbs all night, and then like he clotheslined the shit out of him. Yep. And I love how Luger said people have been calling him cocky and had too much ego, but says he's got a lot of pride. Then he picks up Ricky before he clotheslines him. And I love how he hit him with the chair. He racked him. Steamboat was selling like he was fucking dead right here. Sting must have been Luger then says there lays your number one contender. I guess Sting was taking a shit in the back, and like he finally runs in for the save after Luger gets his ass beat. But this is a nice thing. Had to turn Luger heel. Had to turn Luger heel. Ric Flair is the top face. So, like, you know, it definitely feels like your top faces right now are Sting, Steamboat, and Flair. That will change because, spoiler alert, this is the last you see of Ricky Steamboat until he comes back at a Clash in, I want to say, 91, which we talked about for the Danger Pod, Keithie, because he's gone after this. So, well,
he's gone after
Clashes. He lasts Great American Bash.
But he's gone after Great American Bash, yeah.
Yeah, but for Class Talk, he's done after this, which sucks because I think it would have been nice to have him, but they signed him to a 6-month deal because WCW. But no, it was a hot ending. Luger looked amazing. He looked like $1,000,000. I can see why people thought he was going to be a superstar because I was like, God damn, this dude looks amazing. Like put him in with Flair, have Luger finally beat him, but we go another way.
Yeah, I mean, there's always a lot of talk about Luger and what could have been, what could have, should have. And I think that Luger, they missed the boat with him. Really, I mean, they missed the boat in 88. They missed the boat in 89. They missed the boat in fucking 90. I mean, it really sucks. Like, Luger definitely at some point should have beaten Flair and had a run with the championship. You could take any one of Flair's fucking losses that he had in 88, 89, or 90 and said you could have put him in there. I don't necessarily want to take away the title win from Sting, but I mean, Sting ended up being kind of like a dud almost as a world champion. I feel like that first run anyway, I mean, I don't know, the fucking Black Scorpion and then the fucking imposter Sting, like all that kind of shit was like weird, I don't know. I think the Halloween Havoc match against Sid Vicious is fucking great, but we're a year away from that. But like, I kind of like Sting's second run, like his WCW world title run where he beats Luger. But like that title run for Luger, I felt stinks because it's like, God, it's like, is Luger just like the greatest secondary champion of all time? Like, is he? Because I mean, his world title runs are kind of like meh at best, Like the 92 run stinks. The 91-92 run stinks because it's like he's not even really around all that much, and like he had that like limited amount of dates and all that kind of shit, and then like what does he get? That he only gets the title like one other. Does he get the title?
97.
That's that one time where he beats
97.
Cody, right?
The 97 run is all of 6 days. He loses it back at fucking Hog Wild, Road Wild. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
I think he should have won in 88 at Starrcade. That would have been nice.
Yeah.
But I can see you saying take it from Sting, or to make, because Sting didn't have anyone to fight, or after like say Sting wins the world title at Great American Bash, you have Luger jumping him at the next tapings, saying he did all this for Sting and Sting still wins the title, and then you have a feud right there with those guys, and like have it go to Luger win at Halloween Havoc and like Sting win it back at Starrcade instead of what we got.
Yeah, and I think that they were still in the mindset of like giving Sting a good run. I think when Sting gets hurt, they should have just had. And what does he get hurt at? It's at Clash, right? In 90 in February.
Yeah, it's at a Clash. Yeah.
And they should have just had Luger take over and be the guy after that, and then beat Flair at. Was it Capital Combat or whatever it was? Like they should have just had him beat.
Yeah, Capital Combat. Yeah.
And then that would have been fine. And and I know Sting was basically coming back at that point, but it's like, who cares, man? You gotta just give Luger the win. Like he never got that fucking win over Flair, and that just kind of sucks, Like I mean, and this is a guy that like, I mean, when I think of like the U.S. Championship, it's fucking Lex Luger, And I think Luger had like he could cut a good promo. He obviously had a connection with the fans. I don't know why they just never. I mean, I think Flair just didn't like him, and that's just why they never pulled the trigger on it. And that kind of stinks because, for all intents and purposes, Flair is a fucking like maniac when it comes to like his value and his opinion of himself and shit like that. So it's like, it's funny that like Flair kept people down, that held Luger down, especially considering he was willing to job to Sting. I don't get it, but whatever. That is whatever it is. But that's going to wrap it up though for Clash 7, Guts and Glory. And Scott, I want to thank you for joining me. We have I don't know if we're going to have the shift plugs. I might put in that Paul Bearer shift plugs that you recorded because I love that one. But other than that, is there anything else that you're on, or are you just mostly on the Backbone?
Yeah, I'm just on Backbone. You can catch me on Linking Up Lucha. We're in season 4 of that, the last season, and Logan's basically left it up to, if you want to show up, we can show up. So we no longer have the teams. So I think I'm going to try to be on every one. I'm the host of our Are You Smarter Than Vince Russo's WCW? Logan's my co-host on that. We're descending into madness. And speaking of descending into madness, YouTube Roulette, which is basically Mystery Science Theater 3000, with me, Matt Souza, Jacob Williams, and Logan Crossland, where you can all hear my descent into madness.
Yes,
I call it my therapy session for an hour and a half.
It's an amazing show.
Yeah, the other three don't really are my therapists, but it's my therapy session where I get all the crazy shit out, and then I'm good. But thank you for having me, Keithie. These are a lot of fun. I may force my way on to be on Clash 8 because I looked ahead and saw what it was. So just keep me in mind.
Well, I mean, I'm always looking for people to do clashes with. And I mean, I would love to have you on for Clash 8. I mean, looking ahead to Clash 8, it's Fall Brawl. It's the initial Fall Brawl. So, and we know that is a big main event. Big tag team match is the main event for that show. And we get an appearance by Tommy Rich. We get another appearance by Norman the Lunatic. It'll be our first television match of Brian Pillman. So yeah, I could definitely have you back on. So maybe we'll do that. I know there's one. I want to have Jenny do the Clash 9, which is the New York Knockout, and that's the one that's got the I Quit match between Flair and Funk. So I'm going to steal her for that. I will definitely put you on the short list or the no list. You'll be on the list. You are the list for Fall Brawl 89. So everybody listen next month for Fall Brawl 89, Clash of the ChampBones 8. We're going to have Schiff with us, and we're going to talk about this wonderful show that takes place from the Carolina Coliseum in Columbia, South Carolina. So for Scott Shifflett, I am Keithie Langston. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you when we see you.
Hi, I'm Private Walter Silverson, 3rd of the 504th Parachute Infantry Regiment. I'd like to say something to Ric Flair, 6-time NWA World Champion. I think you're the best.